What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Les Alex here for Impact. We are live and in living color with round number 2 of our standard RCQ 1K. We've got Vasilios on Azorius control against Hobbs on Domain. Thank you all so much for watching. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're watching on Twitch, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We've got 5 rounds of Swiss and a top 8, so don't go anywhere. We got an action-packed day of standard action. And yeah, either way though, make sure to hit up impactgamingcenter.gg for all of your Magic the Gathering needs, whether you're looking for singles, sealed product, commander cards, all the way to cube stuff. If you're building a cube, a powered cube, whatever you're building, whatever you're collecting, check out impactgamingcenter.gg. And of course, hit up all of our other social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, X, Twitter, whatever they call it. But yeah, make sure to check out all of those as we are posting content all the time. But yeah, let's make sure. Yeah, that is not Hobbs. You are right. That is Paul. So we've got Vasilios and Paul. Did I say Hobbs? I just read. I'm like Ron Burgundy. I just read what's written on the screen. But yes, we've got Vasilios on Azorius control, Paul on Domain, and things are already happening. Both of these players, two very strong players. And both play at pretty breakneck speeds, if I do say so myself. We've got Azur the Enchanter. That's going to come down. That's going to make this Overlord an actual creature right now. But Vasilio says, that's cool, but I'm going to get lost the Overlord. And look at that. Vasilios actually has the map tokens. What a stand-up guy. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. We got started streaming here at about 9:45 this morning. As it is right now, it is 11:05. We are into round number 2 here. Both of these players, as it says right there, are 1-0. So we've got a lot of good players in the building. We've got 23 total here for today's standard RCQ 1K. Gonna make a treasure with the Biza. And gonna pass back to Paul. Played that wrong. Here we are. Leyline Binding gonna take out the Biza. Paul's been playing Domain for quite some time. Has also played it, I believe, a little bit in Modern as well. Obviously not quite the same thing, but has some of the same cards and same philosophy for sure. Gonna pop the map. Leyline Binding number dos. Gonna put the counter on the Leyline Binding creature, which is weird to say, but nevertheless, that's what Zur does. It's a pretty messed up magic card. Vasilios gonna drop to 11 here. And Paul going to go all the way up to 27. Not that Paul's life total matters a whole lot here, but finally Vasilios going to find his second blue source here. Going to surveil. Seemingly keep that on top. Rides in the Zur. And that will take it down. And pass back to Paul. So no longer is that Leyline Binding a menacing creature. Oh, does it stay? Hold on, does it stay a creature? Even with Zur's off the battlefield? That's insane. Wow, it does. That's nuts. That is so good. I thought it was only while Zur was on the battlefield. My apologies, chat. My apologies. That's nuts. Well, Vasilios in a little bit dire straits here. Does have a get lost, does have a Biza, and does have a counterspell. Is going to get lost the landline binding, so he'll get back his Biza. Assuming that actually happens, it looks like it will. Yeah, Vasilios, most importantly, is going to gain the life. I think that's the main thing here. Gets the treasure as well. There's Overlord, and he does have another Biza in hand, so could deploy that. Elsewise, he could just deploy the Overlord. And it will be the Overlord with the impending. So going to make 2/2s, and the Overlord is not a creature currently. It'll come in with 4 impending counters and tick down once Vasilios passes turn. Tick, tick. Back to Paul. This match can become quite a slog. Just based on the nature of these decks. Obviously, Paul having up the beanstalk definitely helps. No more lies. Going to exile, but the cast trigger from up the beanstalk still resolves. Paul going to draw a card here. Up the beanstalk, drawing incremental cards here is extremely good and could end up being a huge difference maker here for Paul. Analyze the pollen. Going to collect the evidence, so we just get to tutor. And that'll be another Zur. Who would have thunk? And back to Vasilios. So 3 steps ahead and 1 Biza. Vasilios going to get in there with some tokens. 23 down to 23 goes Paul. And here's another Biza. Gain 4, get a treasure, and draw a card. It'll be a Plains. And impending is going to tick down, back to Paul. So we've got a Zur. I would imagine that Paul would like to deploy that at some point. But Sunfall's going to get cast. But unfortunately for Paul, it will get 3 steps ahead. 3 steps aheaded? It's going to get counterspelled, is what I'm telling you. Paul does get to draw a card off of the up the beanstalk, though, so he does get to gain a card. There's a Day of Judgment. Doesn't want anything to do with that, though, right now, as Vasilios is on the assault here. Paul going to drop to 15 on the attack. And back to Paul. Draws another Zur, I believe. All right, there's Miss S'mores. We are going to counter it. Draw 2, discard 2 as well. Discard Day of Judgment. Yeah, that sounds good. And then Paul's going to get to draw off the Up the Beanstalk yet again. See, I mean, Up the Beanstalk's keeping Paul in the game. I'm not sure if it's going to end up being relevant just because Vasilios' board is so commanding right now. But it's definitely keeping him in the game. Rides in. Paul draws another card off of Beanstalk. I believe that is a Jace, Perfected Mind. Vasilios has a Rides End, Jace, and a Temporary Lockdown in hand.
Yeah, thanks to a couple baits. You got 6 cards in hand?
6 cards in Paul's hand. Up to Beanstalk's a heck of a card, folks. Gonna attack with one of the insects. Paul down to 13. Impending is going to here, and Doom is here in the form of the Mistmoors. Overlord of the Mistmoors. Paul's got a full grip. There's a Zur. Gonna get in there with his creature. Leyline Binding. All right, so Vasilios is going to sack it with Fountain Port after the block. So we'll get to draw a card. And pass back to Vasilios. Attacking and a trigger. 4 blocks. Paul has a response here. Gonna make the Up the Beanstalk. Rides in, gonna take down the Zur. All right, back to Paul. Keep in mind, the binding is still a creature. All right, gonna get in there for Paul. Vasilios gonna drop to 6. And Paul gonna go back up to 19. Stock up.
Good to go. Good to go.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. So Paul just said he just cast Dig Through Time. I mean, he's not wrong. Card is very good. All right, Vasilios going to attack with the Overlord. Going to make some critters. Paul going to turn the Leyline Binding into a creature. Blocking, Death Touch, they both die. Day of Judgment going to take out everything. And Vasilios going to get back his Bees of the Bounding Boy.
4 in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll get the treasure. Yep. I'll gain the life.
All right, so back to 10 goes Vasilios, going to make the treasure. And plays a Seachrome Coast. And pass to Paul. Day of Judgment.
Yeah, that's a great.
Followed by Impending Mistmoors. And pass back. Mistmoor's going to tick down to 3. What a slobber knocker of a match this has been. Oh my goodness. Back and forth, back and forth. Paul says, could I see your graveyard?
For Jace's? Are you playing 60 cards? I am playing 60 cards.
Vasilios asks a very important question when it comes to milling. Are you playing 60 cards? Paul responded with yes, by the way. Another Zur. My goodness. The hits keep coming for Vasilios. Mistmoor is going to be turned into a creature. An attack. Vasilios is going to make a fish. Going to immediately block, but Paul will get the tokens there. So makes a fish, blocks, sacks the fish to draw a card. With 2 Fountain Ports in play. Oh my gosh. All the overlords here for Paul.
I have the everywhere. I don't have the incense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many are in there? 2, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18.
Vasilios is thinking about double jacing here to be able to win the game. Oh my goodness. So So if Paul has drawn more than half of his deck this game, the game is over. Stock up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gets to pick 2 of these Magic the Gathering cards. Definitely going to take a Get Lost and a temporary lockdown, and that will ensure that he's able to survive yet another turn. So if he's going to lock down, he's got to do that now, obviously. That'll take care of the tokens. Ooh, this is going to be close, depending on how many cards are left in Paul's library. Because Vasilios can mill 15 cards per Jace. He's got 2 Jaces, that's 30 cards. It's going to get lost the Zur. Vasilios says, hopefully for the last time. Okay, so now that he made the maps, there's the lockdown to take care of the maps as well. Clever sequencing here by Vasilios. And now Paul does not have a creature in play, so Vasilios will be safe for the turn. He'll draw another card, so that is another card deeper into the deck and 1 card fewer that Vasilios will need to mill with these Jaces. Oh my gosh, this is insane. Vasilios might just steal this game. Get lost. There goes up to Beanstalk. I don't think Vasilios cares about that a whole lot. Of course, like a counterspell or something like that could change things, but... Down to 2. Another Beans. Gonna draw a card. Count on library. Here we go. If it's less than 30, Vasilios wins. Oh, that's going to be it. This is going to be it. Vasilios going to mill 15. Minus 15, and that's going to be it. Vasilios is going to take game number 1 here with milling with Jace the Perfected Mind. And pulls the rug out from underneath Paul. Holy smokes. Absolutely just... Oh my gosh, the middle of the night, he comes, takes all, just robs everything from Paul's house and just fleeces him. Holy moly. That was nuts. Yes, the beans. Wonder if the 2 beans mattered. Well, he had 28 cards in library, so it still would have been 30. So yeah, I mean, that was some awesome gameplay. All right, Vasilios gonna just absolutely steal game 1. Was playing towards the Jace all game. I think halfway through that game, Vasilios had both of the Jaces in hand and was just playing to stay alive long enough to be able to get to a point where he could get to a turn where he could double Jace, mill you 30. About 4 turns before the game ended is whenever Vasilios started asking about how many cards are in your deck. Are you playing 60 cards? Asking the correct questions, making the correct plays to get it to a point to where he could mill him out. And what an absolute just fleecing there. I mean, that was awesome. Sorry, Paul. Tip the hat to you. You played very well, but that was just an awesome game. Awesome game. Holy smokes, folks. Magic's pretty darn cool whenever it is played at a high level. That was fun to watch. Okay, so thank you all so much for watching. We are still rocking and rolling. Vasilios is up 1 game here in the feature match area in round number 2 with Azorius control. Domain, Paul going to try and fight back here in game number 2. and push it to a game 3. But thank you all so much for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube, again, I'm going to say it again. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video with all of your Magic the Gathering friends. And of course, hit up ImpactGamingCenter.gg for all of your Magic the Gathering needs. If you're looking for Jace the Perfected Mind and you want to mill your opponents for 30 in one turn, just like Vasilios did, go check us out. I'm sure we've got plenty of Jace the Perfected Minds over on ImpactGamingCenter.gg. And of course, hit up all of our other social medias such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the places. Whew, that was insane. What a slobber knocker of a game. As these players are about done sideboarding, Paul shuffling up, Vasilios doing the same. Let's kick it to this one right here. This is the Impact Cam in the Impact Zone. Got 22 minutes. We've got done with one game of Magic the Gathering this round. So we will be probably pretty pressed for time unless somebody, mulligans or misses a ton of land drops in game 2. Hopefully that doesn't happen. We also have a Pokemon challenge today. That starts at 1, so if you're in the area, probably not watching this if you're a Pokemon player, but maybe play both games. Come on up. Be a good time. We're located at 49 Ludwig Drive in the fabulous Fairview Heights, Illinois. Looks like these players are about ready, though. Alrighty, here we go. Little surveil action for Paul. Going to keep it on top. Pass back to Vasilios. Vasilios going to play a Verge and pass back to Paul. Up the Beanstalk.
That is a very good.
See Chrome Coast. Back to Paul. Yeah, that game was insane. Impending here on the... Oh, and he's going to get no more lies. Paul's still going to draw a card off of the Up the Beanstalk. Port. Pass. Back to Paul. Paul might be a little weary of drawing cards on Up the Beanstalk this game after getting milled out in that first one. I'm sure he'll still want to draw cards, though. Up the Beanstalk. I'm going to counter another Overlord. And back to Vasilios. There is the impending Overlord of the Mistmores. Make some dudes, pass the turn. Micah, one of our other guests, is off camera. You can see him there. That's who they're talking to right now. Ooh, there's a Nissa. Nissa's pretty good. And we'll get that on screen for you. And Nissa didn't last very long. Yeah, it's a must kill for Vasilios. But Nissa did get the Overlord off the battlefield.
I have forest, plains, and islands.
Forest Plains Island is currently what basic land types Paul has, as he tells Vasilios. There's another Overlord. Gonna draw another card off of the beans.
got a weird work text. Oh! I'm like, look at it. I didn't even notice. Shows how much attention I'm paying. Clearly. You know, go Hollywood swinging. 5 it.
Gonna get into the red zone.
You start finding some insects.
Vasilios said you're gonna start ley line binding insects. He will do just that. Sack with the fountain. Draw a card. Vasilios, I think, is quite fine with that exchange there. Can we not match the boys into each other? Hey, I'm not matchmaking, bro. That's what happens when winners win. They get paired against each other. All right, here's stock up.
Yep.
All right, gonna play planes. All in the tank here, it would appear. All right, gonna make the ley line binding a creature. Vasilios going to get lost the Zur. Have a couple map tokens. Paul. Vasilios gonna drop to 13, so it'll be 13 all. And back over to Vasilios. Stock up is a good place to start your turn, that's for sure. Overlord, land, stock up, and temporary lockdown. So it takes land overlord. Yeah, definitely need to hit your land drops. Never a great feeling whenever you have to take a land off a card like stock up, but sometimes necessary when you're playing Azorius control. It is of utmost importance to be hitting your land drops basically every single turn of the game until you have about like 10 or 11 lands in play. I'm not too familiar with the standard Azorius list, but it's pretty much true for every single Azorius control deck since the beginning of time. So safe to say that is the fact. Oh, there's another Zur. You know, Vasilios not happy to see that. Does have 2 get loss. Vasilios will block with the fish and sack the fish and draw a card. 3 steps ahead. The card that Vasilios draws obviously can't cast it right now. Cast trigger, going to draw a card off of beans, and then we are going to get the actual cast trigger. Here is Atraxa, the Grand Unifier. Vasilios or Paul, who's the nicer person? I don't know. They're both really nice. Hard to say. It's like the meanest guy at a nice guy convention. Who are you going to pick?
Discard. Have you played land for turn?
Ton of cards in Paul's hand. Thanks to Atraxa.
Never named you. 8 cards. Yep. We will move to cleanup. Yeah. Can I ask if Zer is a human?
Zer is a human. Vasilios asking, can I ask
Don't mind me. I don't want to know.
if Zer is a human? Vasilios has got a grip of removal, though, so...
Seven cards now? 7 cards. I know Zer.
What's up, Chip Hunt? Great people. Yes, I agree. They are both just some good dudes, you know?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 20. That's 8. That's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 27. And you are playing 60 still? I'm still playing 60.
Still playing 60.
Don't read it.
Vasilios said, don't read into that. Yeah, Vasilios saying not relevant, I swear. Just like it wasn't relevant last game, right? Yeah, I mean, Paul just played Atraxa, but Vasilios is up a game here, and he won via double Jace, Milieu 15, Milieu 15, which was pretty epic to watch. Yeah, see the little red dot there next to Vasilios' life total? That indicates that he won game 1. Yeah, Mil 15. He did it twice in a row in the same turn. It was pretty nuts. Oh, Ben and Hobbs. Hobbs won. Yeah, Hobbs won. He played the Day of Judgment for a land. Yep.
You're 13? 13.
Paul says you're at 13, right? It's going to take care of all the critters. Up to Beanstalk, going to draw a card.
Boom booms. Right.
Pass back to Paul. Because he's playing your deck, that's +3 luck. There's a Zer. Yes, sir. Gonna make that a creature. And that's going to do it for game number 2 here. Paul going to take it, so we get a game 3. Yeah, Paul just saying there's a real chance this ends in a draw. 9 minutes left, just eclipsing the 9-minute mark. So, yeah, it is very possible that this one will end in a draw. Hopefully, these two, I'm pretty confident they'll play at a pretty quick pace here in game number 3 already. Shuffling up, getting set up for game 3. Either way, it will be a pretty epic conclusion to this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, especially for watching on Twitch. Looks like we've got a pretty decently sized captive audience, about 10 or 11 popping in and out here thus far in the early goings. Always starts, low and ramps up there at the end of the stream. But yeah, tell your friends, share it, let people know we exist as we get set up for game number 3 here. Let's adjust these life totals. We are off to the races. Vasilios has got 2 lands. Is that good enough? We shall see. We got 5 rounds cut to top 8. 23 players. Looks like Vasilios will be keeping Paul. Going to throw it back. And try again.
Your entire hand is like bangers. Right? Kind of nice. Game 3, 9 minutes on the clock. Control versus domain. Let's go, baby.
Best of 3. Best of 5, we'd be here till about 1 a.m., I think. That'd be 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. would be brutal. Seachrome coats for Vasilios. So Paul going to keep 6. Little surveil action for Paul. Going to keep on top. Vasilios plays a plane. Does find a land. That's important.
That was a long look.
Surveil with the hedge maze. Bin a get lost. Back to Vasilios. Going to play that fountain port. And stock up. We are looking for lands. We find lands. Ooh, we find a lot of lands. So probably going to take a land and a spell, I would imagine. Might want to take 2 lands, though. Depending on... His hand's pretty darn good, so he might take the 2 lands. Looks like he does. All right. Back. Land go. So we've got land go a lot here. No turn 2 beans this game for Paul. There's Overlord. Impending. Trigger. Go. Get lost. So Vasilios will be left with 2 2/1s and 2 map tokens, thanks to Paul's get lost. There is another Lush Portico. Portico. Yeah, that would be a long day. Also, to answer your question you asked me the other day, Chip, the Sony ZV series is a really good camera. I would recommend that for any kind of recording that is under $1,000. It's a really nice camera. ZV. They have different model numbers, but the Sony ZV series, I believe, is what it's called. And there's an Overlord for Paul. Vasilios is going to say, yep, that's a thing. Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry I didn't respond. Been pretty hectic, and it's pretty much been go to work, go to sleep, go to work, go to sleep the last couple days. Oh. If you Rochester draft, that'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. What set would you be Rochester drafting? So we're just going to trade all these dudes. Restless Anchorage here for Vasilios. So Vasilios got a full grip at 7. We're going to pass back. I'm going to take a look. We've got 4 minutes, 24 seconds. Got a couple people. There's a Zur. Going to get lost the Mistmores. And Paul going to get 2 maps. ZV, yeah. They have a couple different versions of it. The ZV-10 is what Impact used to use to stream. It's also good for just recording though. There's a Jace Perfected Mind. Mill 3. Draw a card for Vasilios. Has a Get Lost. Gonna play a land. Yeah, they're about $800, I think. This is not an ad for Sony either. I should say that. Sony, if you want an ad, pay us.
We'll write that down. Cavern named Angel? Yeah.
Cavern naming Angel, and there is a big old angel. That is a Trax of the Grand Unifier. Whoo!
A lot of choices. A lot of almost creature, enchantment, instance.
Creature enchantment instant.
You did enchantment already, unless you want to switch.
Yeah.
Let's see. That'll be. Put down Jace Lane.
Down Jace Milieu. So Vasilios will draw another card. Another Restless Anchorage will enter the battlefield. Get Lost that thing. Referring to Atraxa. Got about a minute 30 left. And Anchorage going to get into the red zone. We're playing for speed. Vasilios says go.
Sure.
We're impending.
Yep. Tick down.
All right, back to Vasilios. They got 56 seconds left. .44 seconds. There is no time extension in this feature match this round. He's going the distance. He's going for speed. He's going to stock up. And a negate for Paul. Tick up, target one of your insects, so insects can get -3, -0. I'll play a Verge.
One of your insects is shrunk.
And Vasilios going to pass back. So about 5 seconds left. Going the distance. So that is going to be timing round. So this will be turn 0 here for Paul. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Yeah, I'm not sure either of these players are going to be able to finish this game in the allotted time here. It's possible. It's not likely.
5 mana being tapped. 5 mana being cast. Full value?
Full value Overlord here. Gonna draw off of the beans. Those is shrunk. Honey, I shrunk the insects. And Paul just gonna pass. Pop a clue. Turn 1. Alrighty.
All right. Let's see.
I'm saying. Vasilios said it. I just repeated what he said. Cards in your library. Oh boy, here we go again. $30 cards in Paul's library. Draw for turn. Vasilios thinking maybe he could backdoor another double mill game.
Follow-up question.
How many cards are in your graveyard? 12 cards in Paul's graveyard. 30 cards in Paul's deck. Both relevant numbers for the Jace on the battlefield. One, two, three. Ooh, I didn't see what Vasilios drew.
I'm up to 8. I have not played a land.
Super hard to hear them. Yeah, I keep the volume low. That way I can pretty much just hear them. And it kind of gives like a nice, hopefully background ambient noise. Day of Judgment can ensure Paul never wins this one within the turns allotted at this point. Days have in fact been judgmented. And that dice is, of course, for what number turn it is. Vasilios going to attack. And Paul going to be turn 2.
Open 5 in hand. A general Vasilios. Yeah, right.
All right, let's see what Paul's got. This is untimed, but that doesn't mean that they can lollygag. Still gotta play at an adequate pace and make game decisions. I find it so funny that we have a giant screen on the other side of this wall right here, this black wall that the TV's on. Basically, a good majority of that screen on the other side of the wall is a giant TV screen. I find it funny that players would prefer to watch the actual board rather than go on the other side of the wall and watch the live stream. Just interesting. Lollygagging, yeah. From the classic Chiodo song, Lindsay Quit Lollygagging. Shout out to all my emo homies out there. They'll get that reference. Nobody else will, but like the 2 emo kids that watch this video on YouTube will get that reference. 16 cards in Paul's graveyard. From the big screen. Yeah, those couches are really nice. I like them. So this is turn 3. One of your besties is an old school emo. I'm an old school emo. All right, so Vasilios going to draw off a Fountain Port. Going to play a Verge. temporary lockdown. Our judge now is watching. All right, so Vasilios is going to pass here. Not going to be able to probably be able to do any double mill this game to steal one. So Vasilios at this point likely just playing for a draw. I don't think Paul is going to be able to take Vasilios from 20 to 0 this turn. So I'm fairly certain this match is going to end in a draw. Which is that pans out. What are you trying to say? There's Azur. Animate Overlord. This is Paul's last turn, though, so he's got to deal 20 here. It's not going to happen. Send him. Triggers. Tashini's Tidebinder. Can Tidebind.
Tidebinder withdrawals. Target this turn.
Tear asunder.
Listen, if we're going to draw in style, all right?
If we're going to draw, we're going to draw in style, says Paul.
So I get 2. Yes. And then I'll just get smashed for $1 million. I gain $1 million.
Down to 8.
On your instant.
Paul goes up to 26. Two maps. Gotta draw 2 Jaces. Oh, stock up's a good option. This is turn 5.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go, baby.
Here we go. 1 Jace. Oh. He drew one of them. 1 isn't 2, though.
Can I know how many are in your graveyard? How many are in your deck?
How many in graveyard? How many in your deck? Says Paul. Or says Vasilios.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
17 in graveyard.
Perfect number. Can I see how many are in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So not quite the perfect number of cards in graveyard, but too many cards in deck to be able to uptick Jace, find a Jace, play Jace, downtick Jace. This is the final turn of the game. So Vasilios cannot find a win here. The game is going to end in a draw. There is Jace. 1,000,003. So now 20 cards in graveyard. He defounded too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, that feels terrible for Vasilios. Needs a frog monument. You're not wrong. How many cards are in library? It's going to be more than 15. 20. 5. If only it was 5 less cards, Vasilios would steal yet another game here. Or, well, no, I guess it wouldn't matter because he wouldn't. Yeah, it's going to be a draw. They're going to shake hands. Good sports as always. What a compelling match of Magic the Gathering. that is going to do it for round number 2. We're going to kick it back to me. Holy smokes, that was a long game of Magic the Gathering. Thank you all so much for watching on YouTube. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit up all of our social medias, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the places. Share the videos. Do all the things. Share the videos. Do all the things. Hit up ImpactGamingCenter.gg for all of your Magic the Gathering needs. If I see you in the next round or in the next video, thank you all so much. I've been Les Alex, and I will see you and catch you on the flippy flop. Adios, everyone.